Now at 9, Crowder College announces new degree program starting next fall. Plus tips to make a severe weather emergency plan for your family and friends. And the Kansas governor visits a healthcare education center in Pittsburgh.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach, and we've got lots of rain moving in tomorrow. And let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty.
Yeah, we do. Showers, even some thunderstorms are going to be rolling in for us tomorrow. These should be non-severe, which obviously is good news because we have severe weather in the forecast. But rain really starts to pick up. So this is late tonight. Here's 4 o'clock in the morning. And then as we go through the morning hours, periods of showers and thunderstorms. So it's going to be wet. Everybody's going to get rain, which we need the rain. And then showers and thunderstorms continue into the afternoon, into the evening hours. And then we'll get a little bit of a break until after midnight tomorrow night. And then more showers and thunderstorms will roll in. 75 for today. Average high 71, so a little bit above where we should be. Looks pretty good out there right now. We're sitting into lower 60s. We are dry, but look at the rain starting to pick up now in southeastern Kansas, and this is going to continue to develop over the next several hours. So we're going to be talking more about this plus severe weather here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, when severe weather does strike, it is important to have a plan in place. KOAM's Amber Jenkins asked Newton County Emergency Management to share tips for families when severe weather hits.
Just about everyone in the 4 states has experience with a tornado or severe weather. If not, then you heard the stories.
Folks have heard stories about the Joplin tornado, so there is a lot of anxiety with those young children, and the more they can plan and the more they know what to expect, the easier it is for them.
During severe weather, parents are not only trying to keep kids safe, but also calm. One mom of 3 in Neosho says having a plan can smooth over nerves.
I think when they know there's a plan in place, if something does happen, I'm going to wake you up, we're going to put shoes on, we're going to go out to the shelter, and we'll be together, we'll be safe, we have a place to go. I think when kids know that you have a plan, they do better.
For the James family, their storm shelter is a big part of their severe weather plans.
The day we purchased our storm shelter and they brought it to us, we used it that afternoon. Like they installed it and we were in it within an hour.
If folks can't afford a storm shelter, you know, if they don't have a basement, if they can't afford a storm shelter, then again, identify a place in their home that's safe for them and know what it's going to be and how they're going to be there.
Severe weather can bring uncertainties, but keeping a line of communication should be a top priority.
We've learned in many weather events that sometimes the phone lines go down. Those NOAA weather radios have crank radios that have actually flashlights, and NOAA and those radios within radio stations, so then you can hear what's going on.
After finding a storm shelter and establishing communication, it's best to wait out the storm and enjoy the impromptu family time.
We have the flashlights and we try to just tell stories and we've sang songs because it does get to be a while and it gets kind of stuffy in there. And so we pass the time by just really you get some more family time.
Reporting in Neosho, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
For more tips, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Crowder College will have 2 new programs beginning this fall. Engineering technology is intended to train students for careers as an engineering designer or drafter. Geographic information system is designed to develop skills for storing, analyzing, and visualizing geographic information such as maps, satellite images, and demographic data.
Or what do we see job opportunities, especially in our area, so that people don't have to relocate. So we'll look at those things first. And then of course we have to be physically responsible with what we're doing. So making sure that we already have the facilities basically to teach these classes and do. So we had drafting classrooms, we have the computer technology that we need to be able to offer that program.
The college says both programs have high demand in the job market and can be completed relatively quickly. NEO A&M College in Miami today hosted an outreach event to let adults know it's not too late to get a degree. The Dogs and Degrees event gave people the chance to stop by, grab a hot dog, and learn about the Reach Higher program. That's a degree completion program designed for working adults who want to finish an associate's degree.
Important, especially in this day and age, is because our unemployment rate is low. So that means You know, you need to be able to present yourself in a way that people will hire you and bring you on staff and train you. And once you've got a college degree, it shows that you're trainable, that you're willing to learn, that you are perhaps a lifelong learner. So that puts you above the other applicants.
Some local artists and organizations are ready for the Pittsburgh Art Walk. The event promotes a festival-like atmosphere with live music, art demonstrations, and community activities. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
As big fans of Joker and Harley Quinn, Ashlyn Denon and her husband decided to incorporate the characters into their wedding. 2 years later, they are taking the couple to Pittsburgh, this time in a different way.
We did the Harley Quinn diamonds on the side with the split dye because, you know, Harley comic book was black and red. And then we got Aston Martin in his purple pants, his Joker green top knot, and his smile.
Molly and Aston, now Harley and Joker, are some of the attractions at the Pittsburgh Art Walk.
And it brings art and our pets together for me. Two things I love the most, my animals and art.
Denon is joined by more than 100 other local artists and organizations at the event. Meg McCoy, for example, is getting ready to participate in the event for the third time.
There's really no way to access your community when you're creating artwork alone in your home. And the amount of people that Art Walk has connected me with, I went from, you know, just drawing in my room to making a career out of art.
For her, this is an opportunity to be a part of the city's cultural scene.
Basically, every artist in town shows up and shows out, shares their work. People who run Art Walk are really committed to making sure that Pittsburgh culture is appreciated and accessible, and I'm all about that.
In Pittsburgh, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
The Pittsburgh Art Walk starts at 5 p.m. on Friday. It's held on Broadway between 7th and 4th Streets. In case of severe weather, though, the event will be canceled and will not be rescheduled. Organizers ask the public to keep updated on the event's social media page. Art Forms Gallery in Pittsburgh hosted a fused glass workshop today for some 6th graders. Staff at the gallery treated the kids from College Heights Christian School in Joplin to a lesson in making glass art. The field trip was a chance to learn and have some fun. Well, we were really excited to have a day of learning outside of the classroom, and they have the chance to work with fused glass to make several fused glass items. I just hope that they learned something new today and that we have a lot of fun. The kids also got to take in some of the art in the Pittsburgh Library. Coming up, how a new robot is revolutionizing lung cancer diagnoses, providing better outcomes. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly today visited Pittsburgh to check out a new healthcare education center. Governor Kelly toured the John Parlow Education Center on the campus of the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas. Members of the health center's leadership team and board of directors joined the governor on the tour and for a discussion on how Medicaid expansion could help address the state's healthcare worker shortage.
Take care of it, good, you know, but we have to be partners with the folks, you know, people who are not who don't have access to health care are not going to be as concerned, or they can be concerned, but they're not going to be able to do anything about staying healthier if they don't have access to professionals and others to guide their care.
The governor also referenced the Medicaid expansion in Missouri and the success that state has had keeping hospitals and clinics running since then. Well, it's no secret taking quick action to combat cancer can save lives. The National Institutes of Health says delaying cancer care by as little as 6 weeks can decrease a patient's survival by up to 13%. But when it comes to lung cancer, one small robot could be providing huge outcomes and speeding up diagnoses of the disease. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look.
A new robot could help combat the deadliest cancer in the country. The National Cancer Institute estimates about 125,000 people in the U.S. will die from lung cancer this year. With doctors citing how early detection is key to saving lives, California medical experts are unveiling a new robot they say can help provide faster and safer diagnoses.
One of the main things that people can get when they get a CT scan of their lungs that shows up is a spot in their lungs called a nodule.
The presence of nodules can send patients in a panic, with many worrying they could be a sign of cancer. But some nodules are too small or hard to reach for doctors to analyze.
This tool allows us to go after almost any nodule in the lung to try to provide patients with diagnostic certainty. When we can give patients diagnoses, we can alleviate some of their anxiety and/or we can make treatment decisions.
The robot goes down the patient's throat to reach the lungs in a less invasive operation. The small device then travels through the maze of branches in the lungs, letting doctors see what's inside with help from a virtual map of the organs created from a CT scan.
And so this allows us to, one, get to the nodules that radiology could not otherwise get to. Two, biopsy nodules from the inside, which has a much lower risk of lung collapse.
Doctors have already used the bot on 3 patients and hope the tool provides results and peace of mind for many more in the future. Ted Linder, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, Pitt State softball begins its last homestand of the regular season with a doubleheader against Newman. We'll have the highlights.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a pretty nice Wednesday for us today. We saw quite a bit of sunshine throughout the day and really not too much going on for us most of the day, but big changes are moving in as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Nice shot, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex downtown Joplin, looking pretty good, but we do have some rain which is developing. Look at the showers out across southeastern Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. We may get a few rumbles of thunder as well as we go through the night, but just west of Miami, just north of Anita, we can track a little farther toward the north. You can see just west of Pittsburgh, Parsons, Independence, Fredonia, and then up toward Yates Center and Iola, and these will increase as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. So we got this wave right here. This is our first of about 3 waves, which are going to affect us over the next 4.5 days. So rain chances really shoot up, especially late tonight through the morning hours, taper in the evening, back up tomorrow night, taper once again by the time we get to about the noon hour on Friday. Let me take you through time. Scattered showers continue to pop up. They are going to be very hit and miss as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. As we go through the morning, showers and thunderstorms increase across the region, especially on the Missouri side, and then by about the noon hour, we get this back band which is going to drop through. It looks like the heaviest rain will stay in southwestern Missouri, but everybody's going to get it. Showers and thunderstorms continue into the evening hours and then a break. And then once we get past midnight, here we go again, scattered showers and a few thunderstorms popping up into Friday morning. But it's Friday afternoon that we have to really keep our eyes on. So we have a little bit of a dry line, which is going to slide in southeastern Kansas. Here's 3:30 p.m. So here's what's tricky on Friday. If the morning storms hang out a little bit longer, it'll keep us cloudy. And if we stay cloudy, we're probably not going to get any severe weather on Friday. If we get some sunshine to pop up, we'll probably get some scattered thunderstorms getting going 5 or 6 p.m. If these storms can get going, they will go severe very, very quickly on Friday evening. But these are going to be just very scattered as we go through Friday evening. Much bigger severe threat by the time we head into Saturday. All right, tomorrow's going to be chilly. We're going to stay upper 50s to near 60 degrees with the on and off showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. And rainfall wise, we should get some decent amounts, which is good. In fact, look at our potential rainfall over the next several days. A lot of areas are going to pick up 2, 4, 5, maybe even 6 inches in some spots. All right, for you tomorrow, 62 scattered thunderstorms. Possible alert days Friday, Saturday, Sunday with severe weather threat. Temperatures into the 70s and 80s. We're going to be talking more about that severe weather threat in our second half hour.
All right, that's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there is.
Stay tuned for that for sure. Thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, reducing the plastic footprint.
That's Barbie. She's plastic. Unfortunately, so is the package she comes in. I'm Jeff Flock, and I'll be back in just a moment to tell you why some states say plastic is not so fantastic.
The Department of Transportation has announced new rules governing airlines that could save you money. The rules announced today say you can get a refund for a canceled flight. If you're delayed for more than 3 hours for a domestic flight or more than 6 hours for an international flight, you can get a refund if you choose not to fly. Airlines are also now required to disclose what fees they charge up front for things like a checked bag, carry-on bag, and a cancel or change fee.
This is a big day for America's flying public. It represents the latest step, 2 steps, in fact, in our ongoing journey as the Department of Transportation under President Biden's leadership to deliver the biggest expansion of passenger rights in the department's history.
The new rules will be phased in over the next year. The Department of Transportation says consumers will save $500 million a year that they're currently overpaying in hidden airline fees. Lawmakers in New York are pushing a bill that would force large companies to reduce their plastic packaging. The food and toy industries are not happy. Fox Business Network's Jeff Flock is in Philadelphia with more.
Product packaging. These days you can't almost buy anything without it, and some of the packaging more robust than others. If you've ever bought Kraft individually wrapped singles, you know there's about as much plastic here as there is cheese. But this plastic is winding up increasingly in landfills, and states trying to do something about that. New York, the latest, considering a bill called the Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act. It applies just to big companies with $1 million or so in sales each year, and it would force the companies to cut packaging winding up in landfills by 50% over the next 12 years or so. And they would also have to help pay for recycling. It is what's called an extended product responsibility law. 33 states already have such laws applying to specific products like batteries, electronics, motor oil, things that are hard to recycle. Now, 4 states, California, Colorado, Maine, and Oregon, are passing these laws to pertain to packaging. And multiple other states, including now New York, are considering such a bill. The toy industry says it is going to be most hard hit by this because a lot of the toys are packed in plastic, and not least among these Barbie, which perhaps you can see, in addition to being plastic, she's packaged in a lot of plastic. And the toy industry says there's reason for all of this packaging to protect the products and protect consumers, but if this bill passes, it's definitely going to cost more money for you.
All of that translates into increased costs for companies, either in transit of the product, the quality of the product, returns of the product, all of which in my mind mean that eventually prices are going to go up across the board for products.
Other critics point out that manufacturers already have plenty of incentive to reduce packaging as much as they can, and they point out that in, say, the case of the Kraft singles, the reason for the packaging is both safety as well as convenience.
If this goes through, we're just not going to see as much sliced cheese. We're going to have to do a lot more slicing of cheese ourselves. The price will be higher. What are we achieving by this really intrusive ban and restrictions on plastics? And I would argue we're achieving very, very little.
Did you ever buy a pair of scissors, get it home, and realize that in order to open it, you need a pair of scissors? Complex problem out there, not one that is likely easily solved. I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
A lot of good points there, Jeff. Well, books at a discount. Up next, we're going to check out Pitt State's annual spring book sale and how it benefits students. Pitt State's Axe Library held its spring book sale today. Every year, the library collects a range of donated materials for the sale, everything from fiction to romance to history and more. The sale was open to campus and community members with prices ranging from $1 to $2 per book. Proceeds help fund annual library programming. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way.
Abortion is once again before the Supreme Court. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with a look at the arguments and how the outcome could ripple across the country.
Growing protests on college campuses have caught the eye of Congress. House Speaker Mike Johnson is coming here to see for himself. I'm Connor Hansen at Columbia University with what he has to say coming up.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. It's been nearly 2 years since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. But once again, the justices are faced with a major dispute over abortion access. They heard arguments today on whether doctors in Idaho can be forced to perform the procedure in emergency situations, even though the state has a near total abortion ban. As Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor reports, the court's decision will have ripple effects across all states with abortion limits.
The right to an abortion is now up to the states, but the nation's highest court is weighing in once again. The question at hand Wednesday, can doctors in Idaho be forced to perform an abortion on pregnant women experiencing a medical emergency, despite the state's near total abortion ban?
If ER doctors can perform whatever treatment they determine is appropriate, then doctors can ignore not only state abortion laws, but also state regulations on opioid use and informed consent requirements.
The Biden administration says the Federal Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act requires physicians to give stabilizing treatments to patients experiencing a medical crisis, which could include an abortion.
Shouldn't matter where in America you live. This isn't about states' rights, it's about women's rights.
Idaho's law allows for abortions in rape or incest cases or when the mother's life, not just her health, is at risk. But some doctors say the law is too vague and are concerned about being criminally charged if the procedure is later deemed medically unnecessary. In a letter to the Supreme Court, 3 major medical groups write, when is it certain she will die but for medical intervention? How many blood units does she have to lose? 1, 2, 5? How low does her blood pressure have to be? But attorneys for Idaho claim this is an attempt by the Biden administration to undermine the Supreme Court's decision to return abortion rights to the states. Last month, the High Court also heard arguments over nationwide access to the abortion pill, mifepristone. Decisions on both cases are expected in June. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, President Joe Biden today signed a bill that could lead to a nationwide ban on the popular TikTok social media app. The bill was part of a wide-ranging $95 billion foreign aid package the Senate approved last night. TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, ByteDance. The new law would force TikTok to find a new owner within months, or the United States will ban its use in the country. Well, college students across the country are staging walkouts and building encampments on school property in protest of the Israel-Hamas war. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
Here at Columbia University, pro-Palestine student protesters are still camping out, holding their ground. Some students are negotiating with the university as they get closer to their deadline to leave. What began last week as a college protest against Israel's war with Hamas has developed into a larger movement spreading to campuses across the country. Clashes with police have led to arrests, and concern over student safety has forced some schools to move classes online for the rest of the semester.
There's only one people that are losing, and it's the Jewish people. The Jewish students, they are scared, they are fleeing campus.
At UT Austin, police on horses are keeping the crowds back. Protests catching the attention of Washington. House Speaker Mike Johnson visiting Columbia's campus Wednesday to meet with Jewish students and call on the president of the university to resign.
Sadly, Columbia's administrators have chosen to let the threats, the fear, and the intimidation of the mob rule.
Protests now focusing on colleges' financial ties to companies connected to Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling the protests, quote, horrific, and blaming college officials for letting them spiral out of control.
It's unconscionable. It has to be stopped. It has to be condemned, and condemned unequivocally.
President Biden is repeating that his commitment to Israel is ironclad. This comes just after he signed a foreign aid bill providing billions to the U.S. ally. In New York City, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, a bit later, we'll learn about a samurai robot helping save the planet through recycling.
Well, of course, today turned out to be a pretty nice day across the region. Temperatures not bad as we did go into the mid-70s for highs, but over the next 4 days, 4.5 days, we have rounds after round of showers and thunderstorms. We need the rain, We definitely don't need any severe weather. We're not going to see anything severe tonight, but look at the showers, even a couple rumbles of thunder popping up. Kansas into Oklahoma, so Miami down to Grove, getting into southern parts of Cherokee County, a little band south of Independence back toward Parsons, Fredonia. So we are picking up at least some showers across the region. These will continue to increase as we go through the overnight hours tonight. We have this little wave, first of 3 waves, which are going to affect us over the next several days. Now, severe weather, those chances are going to go up as well. So for tomorrow, severe threat stays out to our west, but we're going to have showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Now on Friday's interesting. We get morning storms. If they can get out of here quick enough, we'll most likely get strong to severe storms as we go into the evening hours. So that's our first big threat is on Friday. On Saturday, next system pulls out of the Central Plains, high threat for severe weather, most likely all modes, large hail, gusty winds, and tornadoes. Oklahoma City, Wichita, over towards Chanute, at least a moderate threat for most of the viewing area, and then all this shifts east as we go into Sunday, at least a moderate threat. So definitely pay attention as we go through the next several days. All right, rain chances tonight, creeping up through the night, and then taper in the afternoon, then back up tomorrow night, and then taper once we get into Friday afternoon. So let's take a look at it. Scattered showers tonight across the region, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder. These will increase as we go through the morning hours, so we are going to get some decent amounts of rain, which we definitely need. Showers, thunderstorms through the morning hours, very wet. Here's about the noon hour, 1 o'clock hour, a band dropping through, and then we'll start to dry out just a little bit after about 5 or 6 p.m. We get a break for a little bit. More showers and thunderstorms roll in after midnight tomorrow night. These guys could be a little bit more potent, so we may get some low-grade severe storms into Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon, if we can clear out, and that is an if, we'll see along our dry line scattered hit-and-miss storms popping up across the region. So that's something we're going to keep our eyes on. All right, 50s tomorrow, really no severe threat, but again, the greatest severe threat for our area is going to be Saturday. Saturday afternoon and evening, storms drive in. There'll be batch number 1, batch number 2 after 5 p.m. or after midnight on Saturday night. So a lot to watch over the next few days. 62 tomorrow, 74 Friday, 81 Saturday, 77 on Sunday. Possible alert days because we have that severe threat Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's that time of the year.
Yeah, I know. It seems like there's no way to avoid it all weekend. You're gonna get some rain.
Yeah.
So glad I got all my mowing done.
There you go.
Yeah, I did good. All right, thanks, Doug.
Yep.
Well, the CDC has launched a new heat and health initiative aimed to protect you from heat exposure. It includes a 7-day nationwide heat forecast that will tell you when temperatures could reach harmful levels, information on local air quality, and new guidance to help clinicians keep at-risk patients safe as temperatures rise. Now, this comes after record heat caused record high rates of health emergencies in some parts of the U.S. last year. Coming up in sports, Pitt State softball looks to stay undefeated on their home field. Plus, a pair of high school basketball standouts signed to play at the next level. Brock Baldridge has those stories and more.
The Pitt State softball team is 20-0 when playing on their home field this season. The Gorillas begin the final regular season homestand by facing Newman for a doubleheader. Originally scheduled for Friday, but we bumped things up to Wednesday afternoon as Pitt State takes the field against Newman. So in the circle for the Gorillas is the freshman phenom Ava Laurent. In the first inning, she gets the swing and the miss. Next batter also swings and misses, and Laurent finishes the inning as she strikes out the side. She pitches 6 complete innings and strikes out 9 in this game. So we go to the 4th inning now, still scoreless as Sydney Sneed is up at the plate. She sends a missile right back up the middle off of the second baseman's glove. That scores a run, and the Gorillas are on the board first. It's 1-0. So to the 6th inning now, Pitt State leads 3-1. Maddie Fernandez belts this into Souvenir City. It's a 3-run home run. Gorillas now take a 6-1 lead. We head to the final inning of the ballgame now. Closing things out in center field, Heather Arnett, who makes a spectacular diving catch to seal this one up. Pitt State takes game one. They win this one 6-1. In game 2 of the doubleheader, Pitt State completes the sweep of Newman by winning this game 3-1. The Gorillas now have a shot at a conference championship on their home field. Pitt State is set to host number 5 Central Oklahoma this Saturday at 1 p.m. And across state lines in Joplin, the Missouri Southern Lions kick off their final homestand with an upset over number 5 Central Oklahoma. Lions win the first game 5-3. However, Missouri Southern doesn't win the second game. They lose that one 6-0. MSSU splits the doubleheader, and they will wrap up their final home game of the season this Saturday at noon versus Newman. Well, Wednesday marks a special day for both the Pittsburgh High School girls and boys basketball programs. 2 of the top players in Southeast Kansas signed their national letter of intent to play at the next level. One of the best players in program history is Mason English. He is officially signed to play basketball at Link Academy next season in Branson, Missouri. Mason is the all-time leading scorer in school history and was voted unanimous first-team All-SEK this past season. And meanwhile, sharing the spotlight with Mason is Pittsburgh's Jacqueline Hall, who's going to continue her basketball career at Missouri Southern. She has a handful of interests from different schools around the area, but ultimately chose to sign closer to home.
I'm looking forward to a great program that I'm going into where I know that I'm going to become the best basketball player I can be, which I'm really looking forward to. And there's also so many great people there, so many great girls and coaches that I'm so excited to meet and form relationships with. So that was really the selling point. And just the community, I mean, the community is fantastic, so I'm super excited.
Campus is really nice. I practiced at the facility a lot, and just the people there, just like the vibe I get whenever I go, and it's just amazing.
Well, we're still in the early stages of the NBA playoffs. The Oklahoma City Thunder are back home for Game 2 of the first round after OKC's Game 1 victory. So tonight, the Thunder are at the Paycom Center for another playoff game. Oklahoma City won Game 1 on Sunday night, winning that contest by only 2 points. This game is still currently in progress, but at last check, it's the Thunder who lead 63-50 at halftime. So a win tonight gives the Thunder a 2-0 series lead. And I know it was a special day at Pittsburgh High School, to see Mason English, he had 3 50-point games this past season. Also Jacqueline Hall staying close to Missouri Southern.
That is really cool. Congratulations to both of them, and we wish them the best of luck in the future for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks. Back with more news after this. A recycling center in Scottsdale, Arizona is turning to tech to help save the earth. Fox's Irene Snyder has more on the recycling Samurai robot.
Sorting recyclables by hand can take quite a while. A human can sort about 40 to 45 pieces per minute, whereas a Samurai robot can accomplish 70 to 75 pieces in the same time frame.
It's been a huge game changer for recycling. It gives us an opportunity to get another layer into the system so we can identify ways that we can be better at recycling.
The Samurai just started operating at the New Republic Services Center off the Beeline Highway in Scottsdale, sorting the materials along with getting rid of any unwanted plastics. Then this machine displays what the robot is sorting.
That's going to give us the viewpoint of what our AI robot is seeing. So right now you see it as it squares everything out, it's identifying the natural plastic that it wants to rid out of the machine to sort for us and take the trash out of there as well.
On this Earth Day, they're giving us a look around the center and some advice about what can and cannot be recycled.
Make sure you're recycling your tin and your aluminum. When you put things in your bin, you're not putting any plastic bags in there.
Because taking care of the earth helps keep our communities safe and healthy.
Really on Earth Day, we want to focus on our ability to impact the community.
Well, coming up, we'll meet an Oklahoma boy who got a little more than he bargained for when he got a pet octopus. An Oklahoma boy had dreamed of owning an octopus since he was 2. But when his dream became reality, he suddenly ended up with 50 of them. Wow. Ginny Mose reports on a story with legs.
You may not think of octopuses as lovable, but this is the face of a kid seeing his pet octopus for the first time. 9-year-old Cal Clifford cried with joy.
You didn't have to do this.
When his parents gave him the tank.
We're gonna build an octopus tank?
The octopus itself was delivered in a plastic bag to this Oklahoma family. They named it Terrence.
Terrence loves to welcome us every time we visit her. Hi!
As in high five, but with 8 tentacles, Within weeks, Cal's dad, Cameron, says,
we found out that he was a she.
And Terrence, now Terry, started acting weird, laying eggs, but no one imagined they'd been fertilized.
The uh-oh moment was definitely when the first one hatched.
Hatched right in Dad's hand as he examined an egg. Cal got emotional. Getting a first look at the hatchlings, suddenly one octopus had become many.
50
babies, and each had to be cared for in a separate container.
The babies will actually cannibalize each other.
The babies got names like JC and his boo, Ciance. The family learned that octopuses make for expensive pets. Leaks in the tank system required vacuuming carpets and relaying ruined floors. It was all documented on TikTok.
I wish my son's favorite animal had been a hamster.
Almost half of the baby octopuses survived, but Terry has died, buried in the yard. Usually the mom dies after laying her eggs. The babies are destined for educational institutions. As for Cal, he's so into octopuses he even dressed up like one for Halloween. No wonder he was overwhelmed when they gave him his first tank.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Dad and Mom.
Wow, 50 babies. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of Francois leaf monkeys at a zoo in China. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.